In July 2015, Professor Rob Natelson, one of the nation's leading Article 5 experts, crafted an initial draft of rules for a Convention of the States, along with Convention of States Project co-founder Michael Ferris. Since then, a group of 200-plus state legislatures from 40 states have been invited to review Natelson's rules and provide input. A version of these rules were successfully utilized at the 2016 and 2023 simulated Article 5 conventions hosted by Convention of States Foundation. Convention for Proposing Amendments. Proposed Rules. Rule 1. Questions not governed by these rules shall be governed by the latest published edition of Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure, except where the rule in that manual can be applied only to a state legislature rather than a convention, in which case the matter shall be determined by parliamentary common law. Rule 2. Officers. Section A. The officers of the convention shall consist of a president and vice presidents, who shall be elected from among the commissioners, and the following, who shall be elected from among persons not commissioners: secretary, sergeant-at-arms, parliamentarian, and assistant parliamentarian. All officers shall be on oath to carry out their duties faithfully and in accordance with lawful conduct. Section B. The temporary convention president shall be appointed from among the commissioners from the state that was the first to enact the application that led to the calling of this convention. The temporary president shall be selected by a majority vote of that state's delegation. The temporary president's sole duty shall be to preside over the election of the convention president, and he or she shall be ineligible to be the permanent president. Rule number 3. The sergeant-at-arms is empowered, under direction of the President, to secure the good order of the House. Orders issued by the President to the sergeant-at-arms shall be appealable, as in the case of other rulings of the Chair. Rule number 4. The members of this convention are the committees, delegations, appointed by their respective states. All votes shall be taken by states, with each state having one vote. In roll call votes, states shall declare their votes in alphabetical order. Rule number 5. Irrespective of how many commissioners a state includes within its delegation, no more than 5 commissioners from any one state shall be on the floor at the same time. Rule number 6. A quorum to do business shall consist of the commissioners empowered to cast the votes of not less than 26 member states, and all questions shall be decided by the greater number of those which be fully represented, but a lower number than 26 may adjourn from day to day. Rule number 7. The order of business shall be as follows. Number 1, call to order. Number 2, roll call. Number 3, invocation. Number 4, pledge of allegiance. Number 5, reading and approval by the clerk of the minutes of the previous day. Number 6, reports of standing committees. Number 7, reports of special or select committees. Number 8, special orders. Number 9, unfinished business. Number 10, introduction and first reading of proposals. Number 11, consideration of daily calendar. Number 12, announcement of committee meetings. And number 13, recess for the day, adjournment. Rule number 8. Every commissioner rising to speak shall address the president, and while he or she shall be speaking, no one shall pass between them or read any written matter not immediately germane to the question under consideration. Rule number 9. Of 2 commissioners rising to speak at the same time, the president shall name the one who shall first be heard. Rule number 10. A commissioner shall not speak oftener than twice, without special leave upon the same question, and not a second time before every other who had been silent but shall choose to speak on the subject shall have been heard. The commissioners from any one state committee shall not speak oftener than 10 times without special leave upon the same question, and not more than 5 times before every other who had been silent but shall choose to speak on the subject shall have been heard. Rule 11. No commissioner shall, without leave of the convention, speak more than 10 minutes at any one time. Rule number 12. A motion made and seconded shall be repeated, and if written, as it shall be when any member shall so require, shall be read aloud by the secretary or transmitted to each commissioner's pre-designated electronic device before it shall be debated. No motion, other than a procedural motion, shall be in order unless germane to both the subject matter specified in the state applications on which Congress called the convention and to the subject matter specified in the convention call. Rule 13. A motion may be withdrawn at any time before the vote upon it shall have been declared. Rule number 14. When a debate shall arise upon a question, no motion other than to amend the question, to commit it, or to postpone the debate shall be received. Rule number 15. A question that consists of one or more propositions shall, at the request of any commissioner, be divided and put separately as to each proposition. Rule number 16. No substantive question or committee recommendation shall be decided the day on which it is introduced or first debated if any 5 states request that the decision be postponed to another day. Rule number 17. A motion to reconsider a matter that has been determined by a majority may be made with leave unanimously given on the same day on which the vote passed, but otherwise not without 1 day's previous notice, in which last case, if the House agree to the reconsideration, the convention, or, by the convention's leave, the President shall assign a future day for the purpose. Rule number 18. A commissioner may be called to order by another commissioner, as well as by the President, and may be allowed to explain his or her conduct or any expressions supposed to be reprehensible. Rule 19. All questions of order shall be decided by the President, subject to appeal to the House, but without debate. Rule number 20. Upon a question to recess for the day, which may be made at any time, if it be seconded, the question shall be put without debate. Rule 21. When the convention shall recess, every commissioner shall stand in his or her place until the President pass. Rule 22. No commissioner shall be absent from the convention so as to interrupt the representation of his or her state without leave. Rule 23. Committees. Generally applicable provisions. Number 1. The standing committees shall include rules, credentials, administration, fiscal restraints, federal jurisdiction, and term limits. The convention may create ad hoc committees. Number 2. The membership of the Rules, Credentials, and Administration Committees shall be elected by a plurality vote of the states, voting by secret ballot. The membership of ad hoc committees shall be appointed by the President unless the convention shall prescribe another method. The membership of the Fiscal Restraints, Federal Jurisdiction, and Term Limits Committees shall be selected by the method designated in Rule 24. Number 3. Each committee may, by majority vote, create subcommittees for issues germane to the committee's assigned task. Number 4. Committees and subcommittees shall not sit while the convention shall be or ought to be sitting without leave of the convention. Rule number 24. Fiscal Restraints, Federal Jurisdiction, and Term Limits Committees. Number 1. The Fiscal Restraints Committee, Federal Jurisdiction Committee, and Term Limits Committee each has exclusive responsibility for developing proposals within the corresponding subject matter of the state applications for the convention. Number 2. Each of these 3 committees shall consist of 1 member from each state delegation, selected as determined by such delegation, provided, however, that no person shall serve on more than one of those 3 committees. Number 3. Any proposal approved by a subcommittee of any of these 3 committees shall be referred to its committee chairman, who shall schedule it for hearing within 5 days of its referral from the subcommittee. The committee shall vote on any proposal endorsed by at least 5 committee members within 24 hours after the hearing, weekends and holidays excluded. Approval shall be by a simple majority of committee members present and voting. Number 4. Every proposal reported from the Fiscal Restraints, Federal Jurisdiction, or Term Limits Committee shall be scheduled for debate and a vote on the floor of the convention. The presiding officer of the convention shall have no authority to refuse to schedule debate or a vote on any such proposal, and no formal rule shall be required to schedule any such proposal for debate or a vote. No motion to adjourn sine die shall be in order so long as any such proposal remains without a convention vote to pass, reject, or table.